Hello, everyone. I'm busy admitting people who are joining us. While we are waiting, how's everybody doing? Unmute yourself, say something.
Hi, Professor.
How are you?
Hi, Rita, I'm good. What about you?
I'm good too, thank you.
All right. Eileen, Jenny, Alma, you guys
I'm
doing?
good.
Alma is doing good. Okay. Jenny,
Good.
you guys are people of few words today, huh?
How was your weekend?
Well, weekend is only coming our way, right?
All right, I meant the last one, like the Labor Day weekend.
Oh, that one. Yeah. It's already history. I'm thinking about the one that's coming tomorrow.
Me too. Me too.
I agree. All
I
right.
feel like this week is going so fast.
Wait until we get to like November. You'll be saying, where did all the time go to? There's actually an interesting phenomenon. I don't know if anybody has heard about it, that the time speeds up as you age. So now you guys are young. The time goes the way it goes. Once you start getting older, you'll suddenly will start realizing that it's actually going much faster. Ask your parents or grandparents what they think.
I feel like I'm still young, but I agree with that too.
Already? Stephanie, too early.
My 21st birthday was on Sunday, and my memories came up from like my 16th birthday, and I was like, I remember that like it was yesterday, and that was what, like 4 years ago?
Oh, hold on to this because these memories disappear really fast.
Not like I was able to really do much. There's nothing to really do.
Okay. All right. So now let's see where we are. Here we go. Let's share some stuff with you guys. All right. Let's make it larger. Go on and go up. Okay, we're still waiting another couple of minutes for everybody to join. If you have any questions that I could address while we are giving your classmates a few minutes, let me know. I'll be happy to talk to you. So far, so good, right?
Hi, Professor.
Uh-huh.
So I tried to send you the certificate for the safety training, but I couldn't. So I sent it to you by email. I don't know if you received it or not.
Yes, I received everything, Monica. Because it was just a few minutes ago, I haven't punched it into Blackboard yet, but I
Okay.
will tonight. So you're good. You're good.
Okay. Thank you.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So if we have the grade for the city training up on Blackboard, that means that you got it, right?
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
perfect.
If you see your score, and obviously it should be correct,
Yeah.
then yes, I have it and it's punched in. I know that some of you had issues posting it into your Google Doc. Well, we have to learn how to do that. It's okay.
I posted mine on Google Docs, but I wasn't sure if you saw it because I shared it with your email.
Yes, yes.
Okay, perfect.
Those of you who sent me, you did, Stephanie, right? Those of you who sent me uh, the link to the file and indicated in the top right corner that I'm allowed to edit or whatever that option is, I was able to see. So good. But those who couldn't sent me an attachment, which is fine too. I would like to have everything in one place, but that's all right. I mean, we're still learning. All right. So if you okay, so let's how are we doing on time? We're doing well. All right, let's see how many people we have. We have 24. Another minute and give everybody a chance to join.
Wait, Professor?
Yes, Chijima.
When I tried to register yesterday, the
Mm-hmm.
only available course was in Spanish. I sent you an email. Yeah.
Hmm. Not that I recall getting anything from you. So I don't know. We had, let me see, we had a bunch of people on Tuesday. But Chidima, it's not a problem. It's, it's optional. The link to the Zoom on Tuesdays is posted in the announcement on the Blackboard. It's going to be the same link for every Tuesday, but it's different from the one that is today. So please check your Blackboard and see if you see the announcement that lists both links. If you don't, then of course you should email me and I will.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm talking about the CTI training.
You got it. You got the city training in Spanish.
Yeah.
Well, I haven't seen that. Okay. So I'm gonna address that in a second, Chidima. So hold on,
Okay.
hold on tight. Okay. So now is the time for us to start talking. Let me just put away. I'm going to start with something that I need to know in case I need to help you with that. And that has to do with your hardware and your software options. So I'm going to launch a poll. You have a choice to select multiple answers. So that's what I need you to do. So let's start that. Good, good. The new people who are just joining us, please participate in the poll. It has to do with the hardware and software options that you have, because I have a little announcement that might help those of you who are don't have access to that particular software, hardware. Keep answering the poll if you haven't done so yet. I see 18 people out of 25, so 7 more people need to vote. Give us a chance to see where you are. Okay, good. Meanwhile, while we are waiting, I sent all of you, but using the Blackboard send email, a bunch of files which you need to download so that you can have access to them right now. So while we are waiting for the poll to finish, please go to your email and download, I think it's 4 files. Now, the reason why we should have them, you should have them like this, is because when we go into breakout rooms, I cannot share the screen with you. And then I would have to do it with every single group, and that's very inefficient. Okay, people who are joining us, please participate in the poll, which I will end in another 30 seconds or so.
Professor,
Yeah.
I didn't receive an email.
Joanna, is it you?
Jeremiah.
So Jeremiah. Okay, so what I will do, Jeremiah, just give me a second. I do have your email address, which is, so what you should do, Jeremiah, this is just for the future. You should go to personal settings, at the top right-hand corner of Blackboard, go into your settings and then change whatever is there into your Gmail address. Because
I have it to my Gmail, but a lot of my messages are still going to either my Albany email or my City College email.
Oh, I see.
So
Okay.
it's all scattered, and I put all preferences for Gmail, and I don't really receive emails there.
Yeah, okay. Well, I need to get to that, and I will. It just didn't get a chance, because I do have a list of those of you who sent me the additional emails. So I will not can, I will do that. All right, so give me a second. Let me send stuff to Jeremiah.
Okay, thank you.
Professor, I didn't get anything either.
All right.
And I put in my personal email on the Excel sheet.
I see. Okay, so let me, do I have your address, Chelani? Let's see, I'm sure I do. Oh, I see, that's this long one.
It's Jackie who said that.
Oh, I'm sorry, Jackie, is it you? I'm
Yeah,
looking
it's
at
okay.
the, sorry, Jackie, you are Jackie CALI 34, right?
Yes.
Okay, so let me do that.
Thank
Control C.
Oh, Professor, Milana's also saying that she's trying to log into the class, but
Yeah, I need to admit her. So there are people waiting. Hold on, let me admit everybody. Yes, multitasking. Ta-da! Excellent. All right, hold on 1 second while I'm finishing the email stuff. The good thing is at least I can attach a bunch of paste. Okay, so we're good. All right, Jackie and Jeremiah, you should be getting the files in a second. All right. I have 27 out of 31. That's good enough.
Professor,
Yes.
I'm sorry. I didn't get anything either.
And you are?
Kilani.
Okay. All right. So hold on, because otherwise I will be spending all my time. Other people, those who have CIX accounts.
I didn't receive anything.
All right. I'll just post it on the Blackboard and you'll have to get it from the Blackboard. That's going to be the easiest thing to do. So let's end the poll and let me share the results with you. Can you see the results, guys?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, good. Perfect.
Professor, I
So
have a question.
yeah, go ahead.
For some reason, last week my computer died and I didn't get into a group that you made on the last week's meeting. Can we do that after class, or we're going to do that in today's session?
Yes, we're going to do it next. So just hold on. If you're not a member of the group yet, you will be. All right, so let's see. We have desktop, PC, laptop people. A third, we have, lots of Mac users. Fantastic. A couple of Chromebook. 10 people who are using smartphone. That's going to be an issue if you don't have a choice of real software. And there is one person who has no access to either of the MS software. Okay. So let me then come back to. So now I'm sharing the screen with the virtual classrooms and labs. If you don't see it, let me know. All right, so this is what we have. This is brand new. We now have an option for you guys to remotely access physical computers on campus. That is, they are literally physical computers. So if you, there is a link here, but you can also Google it on the CSI website. There are certain software packages that you can't even download, like SPSS. Not that we will be using SPSS, don't worry about it. But if you want to have access to Microsoft Word or Excel and PowerPoint later on, you can do it through this link. And it can be accessed through a Windows or Mac computer, iPad, and Chromebook. So the people who only have access to the smartphone, you should be able to get access to the actual computer. So there is a system that allows you to schedule a particular computer. What I'm saying is it's the actual physical computer that you will be working on remotely as if you were in the computer lab. And that's a good thing. All right, let's see who needs to be accepted. Good. Next, today was the deadline for you to do your city training. Spanish is the first thing that I see. Okay, so you can see the list on my screen. These are the people for whom I do not have it. So you need to quickly unmute yourself and tell me what's going on.
Oh,
Okay, let's do one person at a time. Jackie, let's start with you.
So I did it, but I had trouble submitting it.
Can you email it to me?
I can try now.
Try now. If
Okay.
you can't attach it, take a picture and send me a picture, because
Okay.
without this, I cannot let you even participate in class. Well, I mean, I can let you participate, but you can't do much. Milana, you're next.
Hi, Professor. I was having some difficulties with my computer. It's a little bit broken, but I'm going to have it in by tonight. It was just the connection keeps cutting in and out. That's why.
So you haven't taken it yet, right?
No, I started it. I'm going to submit it by tonight.
Oh, yeah. All right. Devin Joy. Are you trying to talk to me, to us? Because all we hear is some bubbling noise. All right. Chidima.
Yeah, the basic,
You are the Spanish person, yes?
you only showed that in Spanish.
That's the first one that I've heard in several years, so I don't know what you did.
I don't know.
Terence Lau is trying to, let me see, why are we, is there somebody still waiting in the waiting room? Okay, let me stop sharing for a second. And Terence, are you with us? Have you joined?
I think I might know why things are coming up Spanish.
Why?
Because if I remember correctly, I think when you first when you first registered, I think that there was a language option. So maybe she accidentally clicked a Spanish.
On that.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, but maybe you could try doing I forgot who said theirs was Spanish, but you could try seeing if there's
Chidima, I think.
you could try seeing if there's like a little like the little settings thing maybe on top somewhere, and then if you see like a language preference,
I mean, it shouldn't be the case. As far as I know, it takes special efforts to get a different language.
No, because all the other courses were in English, but the basic social thing was in Spanish.
Okay. So Chidima, it's still you, right?
Yeah.
Okay, can you stay after the class for a few minutes and I'll walk you through this. I did that for a couple of people.
Okay.
All right. Irving.
Yeah, I did mine like 3 hours ago.
Why didn't you send me the certificate? But you should do it right now.
Yeah, I'm going to do it right now.
Okay.
I forgot
Derek,
about that.
all right, I need it. If you can't upload it to your Google Doc, I can live with that. Terence, I don't know if you have access to your microphone, but then type. What about you? Terence? All right, he's here supposedly, but next one is Jennifer.
Hey, I'm I'm accessing the website right now. I'm gonna send it to you right now. You should have
Okay, good. All right, Romaine.
Professor?
Tell me who you are, because I can't see everybody.
This is Eileen, but I see Terrence wrote in the chat already saying that it would be great if you could hear what the professor was saying.
It's not on my side, right? You guys can
Yeah.
hear me, so.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, Terrence, if you can hear me, say yes in the chat. Terrence? All right, if anybody can talk to him, tell him that there is a button on the left at the bottom that allows you to, oh, there he is. Hey, Terrence, are you here? You can check your audio setting. Again, I need to know from you what happened to your city training. Norma. Norma, are you with us? I'm scrolling through. Sorry, it's so inefficient. My goodness, I wish we could be together in class. Okay, Norma is not answering, so she may not be with us. Joanna.
Hi, Professor.
Mm-hmm.
I emailed it to you twice. I did it in 2018.
For whatever reason, I'm not getting it. All right, what should we do? Terrence is saying, let's do it again now. I will check my email during the break and I'll let you know. maybe it's on my end, who knows. So do it now and I'll tell you. Just remind me before when we go on the break.
Okay.
All right, Terrence, what about the city training? I don't have it from you, Terrence. So while you're typing, Skylat, you're the last person. Where is your
Hi,
city?
Professor. I did email you prior to class today, but
okay.
I've been having some issues with my computer as well.
Okay.
So
All right,
if we
good.
can talk after, I appreciate that.
All right, just stay behind the class and I will help you with whatever.
Hi, Professor.
All right.
Sorry.
Tell me who you are because I can't.
Devin Joy.
Devin Joy.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I missed when you said my name before, but I had like a similar, I think someone mentioned the issue before where like the only class that they had for the one that you want was in Spanish.
Okay. Can you stay after class for 5 minutes?
Yeah, of course. Okay.
Okay. So those of you like Chidima, right? And you who are having problems and anybody else who still cannot log in, stay behind and we'll do it together. It works.
Okay.
All right, good. I was trying to be, stern with you saying you must leave the session. Okay, let's not be so officious, but I will need your city certificates today, presumably. Okay, good. Next thing on before we move to the actual work, oops, why is it all of this, is the discussions. So there are a bunch of questions. The main question is, you can accumulate maximum 4 points a week, starting with week 1. So if you did anything in August, that doesn't really count because this is week 0. There wasn't really much for you to do there. But from last week, which was week 1, through today, which is week 2, until the end of November, right after Thanksgiving, that's going to be week 14, you can accumulate up to 4 points. That is, if you accumulate 6, I can only credit 4, just because I need you to spread your participation across the semester. So there will be a bunch of things that you could just do if you're interested in a particular topic. When it comes to the attendance, and that was one of the questions, if you missed the lecture on Tuesday, which again is optional, like we talked about it, don't worry, you can still get your points by creating a discussion thread that is related to the topic of today's or this week's class. So obviously I don't want you to completely regurgitate what's there, but I would like you to perhaps extend the discussion, and it should be 200 words. This is my rule of thumb for you guys to participate. You can also respond to somebody else's thread. There were actually quite a lot of people on Tuesday, I think about 20. So if somebody posted already something about the lecture, you can respond to it as long as you respond with more than, oh, I agree wholeheartedly. That is not going to work because you need to move the discussion forward. So if you did not participate, don't worry, just do it. I can't post every possible activity there is under the sun because I would like you to be in charge of your education. So if you would like to create something related to, in this case, it was all ethics, that'd be absolutely fine. The way it will be working, every set of activities for the week will be open from Tuesday when the week starts until next Tuesday. So the activities for week 2, that's where we are now, are available to you until Tuesday the 15th. And at that point, these activities will close and the activities for week 1 will open and you will have a whole week to do them. I read what you write. I don't necessarily answer. It may not be always possible because there's so much stuff going on. That's why I really, really encourage you guys to read your classmates' threads and postings and reply, maybe have a little discussion. You could make this class more, not only just useful, that is something that you have just to accept. It may not be the most fun class, but it's very important. But you can actually have some fun stuff that you could talk to each other. That's the only way we can actually do anything. Otherwise, we're just sitting in front of the computer. And, you know, do you actually learn? I'll do my best. But as you can see, the efficiency is not the same as it is in a face-to-face class. All right, so that's, if any other questions that you may have about discussions, just let me know and I will be happy to address it. I'm flexible, that's what I'm trying to say. Now, the next point is important. We will have a technology or bathroom or smoke break, whatever you're doing, for about 7 to 10 minutes, depends on where we stand, in the middle of the class, at which point you can do and go and do whatever you want. But otherwise, throughout the class, you must stay put. Now, if you have an issue because your mic doesn't work, then you should type. I will also be calling you guys because, again, that's the only way for me to get you involved in the class. So a couple of people emailed me saying, oh, I was there, but I wasn't assigned to class. Now, remember, I have not only the recording of the class where I called your name, but I also have the recording of the chat. Okay, so it's very easy for me to check whether you were there when I called you. Not that I really want to do it. I'm not interested in policing you in any way, but you have to be aware that if you start telling me I was there, but you didn't assign me, I can check and I can see that at this point you must have stepped out. You've done something else. So I really encourage you, suggest that you stay throughout the class, okay? And then respond either by unmuting yourself and replying or by typing in the chat, because I understand that some of your mics may not work. So that's what I want to say. This is only about today. This is only about the synchronous session. Tuesday, again, if you are there, that's great, but you don't have to. If I ask a question, you can reply, but you don't have to. So Tuesday is asynchronous in that way. Okay, so before we move now to the real stuff, any other concerns or questions that I need to address? Okay, good. Right, I can see people are sending files. Perfect. All right, so let's stop sharing this. Here is the thing that we need to start doing, right? We need to start being serious about assignment number 1. So one of the groups have already asked me, actually two groups asked me how they can be more efficient with assignment number 1. They were not sure, they were confused. So let me show you what you could do. I mean, we do have a sample assignment number 1 already posted on Blackboard. If we can get to that, probably not today, but next Thursday, then you'll see it in action. So for now, what I want to do is share with you my browser results, and we can talk about how we can do that. Let's see. Is that it? No, that's Zoom. Give me a second. Where do you go? Synchronous session. Second. I have to double check. All right. Oh yeah, okay. That will work. Good. Back to sharing with you. All right, share screen. And now, is that it? Via Messenger. Where did it go? Let's see if that is the case. No, that's the email. Oh yeah, okay. Let's do this. While I'm doing this, hopefully I will solve this issue in a minute. I want you to think about something. Even if you want to Google, you can Google it. But just try to tell me what you think this is before you Google anything. It's in the chat. What is the obesity paradox? There we go. All right. Let's close this. No. Cancel. Minimize. Are you sharing is paused? Jeremiah. Okay. Why is the no? Why is it the paradox? That's the main question. It doesn't want to share. Why don't you want to share? Well, what's obesity? That's an easy question, right?
Overweight.
Overweight or obesity, these are two different things. What do you have in mind?
Obesity is when you're overweight to the point where it's not healthy. Like really, really, really not healthy.
Okay.
Isn't like obesity like when you're so overweight where you can't like move at all? It like it like makes you like physically kind of like you can't really do much.
I like your sort of descriptive definitions, but there is a technical definition. Who knows how we do that? How do we get the definition of obesity as opposed to overweight?
I think obesity is when.
Let's
Sorry.
start with one person.
Sorry. Hello.
Uh-huh.
Sky, you go.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Sky. Uh-huh.
Right. Isn't it like too much body fat?
What do you mean by too much? That's what I'm trying to get to you guys to tell me.
Like maybe like excessive.
Okay, define excessive. If a baby weighs 30 pounds and the baby is 1 year old, is the baby fat, obese? Yes, no? Okay, who knows this term? Yes, good, Louis. Yes, BMI. Perfect. Louis, what's BMI? Doesn't have to be Louis. What's BMI?
Body mass index.
Yes, excellent. So I'm looking at the formula. The formula is you multiply your weight in pounds by 703, okay? And then you divide it twice by your height in inches. Divide twice, height in inches. All right, so if you're going to get a number, okay? If this number is under 25, all right, then you are normal. Of course, you may be, if you're 24, you may be inching to the overweight. Now, if you are, I'm looking at the formula, between 25 and 29, all right, then you're overweight. And if you're above 29, then you are obese. All right. These are the technical definitions, or what we call in psychology operational definitions. So now, the obesity paradox says, well, actually, before that, the obesity means that all of you said that that's not being healthy. So, which means that if you're not very healthy, it may have repercussions for your lifespan. That is, obese people potentially live shorter lives than people who are normally weighted, right? So the obesity paradox now is, Siver, I'm sure you can answer that question.
I actually had to Google it.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's all right.
Yeah, I mean, from what I gather, it's it was something about a certain age demographic, more of an elderly demographic, where the obesity is actually in their favor for maybe depending on if they have a certain disease or a certain health issue. I think what I read was that being obese actually kind of helps them in the long run for no.
Well, okay, so the issue is that the paradox means if you are obese and you have supposedly a shorter lifespan, the paradox will be if you actually live longer, right? So you are obese, you're supposedly not so healthy, you're dying younger, but in fact you live longer. That's the paradox. And the reason why I'm saying that, because in 2013, there was a paper from the CDC, and it appeared in the Journal of the American Medical Association, suggesting that being overweight was actually advantageous. So somebody who is 5'6" and weighs about 215 pounds will be obese, and that's called actually grade 2 obesity. And that person would live longer than somebody who is only grade 1 obese. So when this paper appeared, you can imagine what happened to the mass media. So here's some of the headlines, and I don't know why I can't share the screen with you, so I'll just have to tell you. So the headlines were, being overweight can extend life. Dreading your diet? Don't worry, plump people live longer. Or, extra pounds mean lower chances of death. So what happened, right? These journalists from different sites and papers took the idea from the paper that was published by CDC, which is the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, as we know that. And they interpreted the findings in this way by saying, hey, don't worry, being overweight is not going to be a problem, even maybe a good thing. Now you can imagine the kind of repercussions such mass media coverage would have, right? Hey, let's all go and eat bacon for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Does anybody see any problems with that? What would you do if you were an obese person who is thinking about what do you need to do? Hey, Sever, if you want to do that, yeah, tell me what you think.
Well, I was actually going to say that I think maybe it's maybe what you're insinuating is that it's kind of misleading. So an obese person might read this mass media article and say, all right, well, you know, it's saying, you know, my lifestyle choices right now is beneficial. And so it might just, you know, be misleading, I guess.
Excellent. So the idea behind assignment 1 would be for you to find some mass media article. I'm just giving you an example about the obesity paradox, but it can be anything else. And then looking up the actual article on which the mass media or popular press, I will use these terms interchangeably, is based on. So the real question is whether the journalists who wrote these wonderful headlines, being overweight can extend life, are they representing the original article correctly? Now, we'll talk more about it when we get to chapter 3, which is coming our way, when we'll talk about claims. So is the claim that the journalist making true to the claim that the authors of the paper made? The only way to do that is to read the journalist's piece, right? Popular press, mass media article, or listen to a blog, or listen to a TV program, or watch something, whatever you can do. And then go to the source. In this case, the source would have been this paper from the Journal of the American Medical Association. Then read the journal article, which is much more difficult than reading a popular press piece. And then compare the claim in both and the validities. That's what we will be talking about soon. So if you are curious about that, I suggest that you start looking at chapter 3, because chapter 3 in our textbook is the corner piece of what we are doing and will be doing in this class. So it's kind of difficult to start with it. That's why it is a little bit buried. It's not the first chapter. I'm just trying to show you. That's it, right? So that's our chapter 3, 3 claims for validities. So essentially, assignment 1 would ask you to compare one of these stories. Let's say we'll take the extra pounds mean lower chance of death. And you will have to identify which type of the 3 possible claims this is. And I can tell you, you can't use this example anyway, that this is what we call a causal claim. They say, right, if you have extra pounds, you will live longer. That's a causal relationship, making it a causal claim. Then you're going to go to the article, read the article, and you'll see whether the scientists who conducted the study actually also making a causal claim. Maybe they're just making an association claim, or maybe they're not making that claim at all, which is almost the case here. The problem, Sever was correct in the way that there are certain conditions where having more weight is not necessarily a bad thing. But the real story behind the actual article, that there were 2 confounds that were included in the study. One of these confounds was smoking. All right, so if you are obese but you don't smoke, you may outlive somebody who is not obese but smokes. So that's point number 1. And point number 2 is there are people who have diseases. We don't know what they could, we don't want to maybe list them, who are just losing weight because of these diseases, nothing to do with weight. And therefore they die earlier, although they are normal weight. You see what I mean? Once these people were taken out of the study, actually, I don't remember how many participants there were. It must have been one of those epidemiological studies. They took out the next step. They took out the people who were smokers and people who were losing weight because of or gaining weight because of those conditions, and nothing to do with overeating really. Once they did that, this obesity paradox disappeared. So what I suggest you do if you want to look a little bit more at this particular example is to go to Google and just Google the obesity paradox, and you're going to get, like I say, for whatever reason it doesn't want me to share it with you, that you're going to get things like obesity paradox fails to hold up in study. I'm just reading the headlines from that search. Or obesity paradox does exist. The obesity paradox may not be a paradox at all. The obesity paradox: can body fat ever be good for you? And so on and so forth. So you can actually, so here is an interesting one from 2018. Study of nearly 300,000 people challenges the obesity paradox. Okay, so if you are in a situation like this, you can try to decide what is the topic that interests you the most, Google it, go on the internet and find what is being written about this topic. My other example, again, unfortunately, I can't show it to you, is do we think that autism is portrayed correctly in the media? Perhaps some of you know that we have a certificate program in our department in behavior analysis as applicable to autism, and we do have internships at places like Eden 1 and Eden 2. These are the organizations that work with autistic children. Type in the chat if you are somehow connected to one of these activities, or if you maybe have a relative who is autistic. Let's see if we have people who know autism firsthand.
My brother has autism.
Ah,
Yeah.
interesting.
Yep.
So Jackie, do you, if you have seen representations of autistic people in the media or in the movies, do you think that these representations fit your brother?
No, because there is so many different forms of autism that he has a very mild one where if you looked at him, you wouldn't be able to tell. But living with him and experiencing, like, he's only 14, so I'm 9 years older than him. So seeing him grow up and seeing everything that I could pick it out. Like, I could see some things that he does where I'm like, oh, okay, well, you need to take a step back and realize that he can't control what he's doing. But I think a lot of representation of autism in the media is more severe than what my brother is. So,
So we
that's
could
just me personally, but there's also other representation in the media where it could be that it's not as evident in a person.
Yeah, one of the old movies, perhaps some of you have seen that, called The Rain Man with Dustin Hoffman, who represents the savant. That's a special type of autism, very rare actually. And so a lot of people think of autistic adults in particular as this Rain Man savant in the population. Oh, it's nice to see you, Jackie.
That was a great movie.
Well, I'm saying it is a great movie, but is it the correct representation of this particular condition?
I've never seen it, but
okay.
The one movie that I've seen that represents autism, What's Eating Gilbert Grape, with Leonardo DiCaprio. It's one of his first movies.
Yeah, okay.
And that movie, it really just it broke my heart, but obviously he portrays a more severe type of autism than what my brother is, but that was the only type of movie that I've really seen with that.
Okay, well, but this is just, thank you, Jackie. This is just an example of how one could do. So let's in the chat, you guys know we have plenty of people, 33. In the chat, I would like every one of you to type just one not a fact, not even a statement, but a topic. You can say something like autism and movies, or you could say, like I just showed you the story of the obesity paradox. What is it that interests you? I mean, I don't see you. We're not in class. We can't have a joint discussion, but you can at least share something with us. So what bothers you? What interests you? What doesn't let you sleep at night? I see. Seizures. Depression and anxiety. Ay. Attention disorder. Go on. There's got to be 30 more people besides Terrell, Jasmine, and Stephanie. Negative thoughts about therapy. Okay. Bipolar disorder. Okay. Autism and hidden talents. Insomnia. Borderline schizophrenia. Verbal abuse. Physical abuse. Multiple personality disorder. BPD. Eating disorders. Phobias stem from. All right. Wealth gap can impact a child's education. Yes. Multiple dissociative disorder, multiple personality. I see repetitive movements. I'm just reading to myself. Schizophrenia. Repetitive movements. Okay. Many of your suggestions are sort of medical or psychopathological. You could still try to do that. The point here is the very important point. The mass media article that you will find, so you just start Googling all of this, may be quite accessible because it's written, as you remember from chapter 1, it's written for laymen. It's written for people who are not doing psychology or for a living. When you go to the actual article, to the research article, there may be two problems. One of them, that it's not going to be a psychology article. It will come from Journal of New England Medicine or something like that. And it's going to be impossible for you to really read because it requires a medical degree to understand. So when you read again the instructions for assignment number 1, you'll see that I specifically ask you to find journals that are psychological journals. The easiest way to do that is to make sure that there is a word psychology in the title of the journal. So that's problem number 1. Your original research article has to come from a psychology journal. The second point is, even if it comes from psychology journal, it shouldn't be too long and it shouldn't be too complicated, because then you will be in a bind. You'll have to try to understand it, and that might be too difficult. So one possibility is that's why you're working in a group of 3. So each of you should start, if you haven't done it yet, should start coming up with a few topics. Like here, you have general anxiety disorder. I'm just looking at the last idea in the chat, and see if a journalist, I assume somebody did, wrote anything about general anxiety disorder from the point of view of psychology, not from the medical point of view. I mean, can you take some medicine? We are not looking into these kinds of medical studies. We are looking for psychological stuff. So if you have anxiety, how does your psychological life evolve? I mean, are you having issues in school? Are you having issues with your family? Your relationships are suffering. All of these are psychological phenomena, and that's what you would need to do. Sometimes I have to say, from my previous experience with this assignment and in general, it's a little easier to find things in sort of the realm of education than in the realm of psychopathology. Because most of psychopathological conditions, and you've named a few, like schizophrenia, for example, are really less psychological and more medical. So therefore you will be in a situation where you have to do something with an article that's not psychology article, and you will be struggling. So I'm gonna leave that at this for now. We were listing research topics of things that affect us. Well, Jeremiah's question. Hopefully you're not listing conditions that affect you, although I understand that might be the case. So now, okay, let's forget about medicine and psychopathology for a second, if we can. Can you guys, some of you, doesn't have to be everybody, can you guys come up with some educational topics, educational ideas? Either in college or for children or for anything that has to do with education. So let's forget about schizophrenia, depression, anxiety, bipolar, and whatever else. Seaver had an idea that if you look at parents' socioeconomic status, does that affect child's outcomes in school? That looks like something that could definitely be a really nice psychological topic. So Jeremy says he would like to research the connection between religion and metaphysics. The problem here, Jeremy, is that you're going in the other direction. Instead of going medical direction, you're going to philosophical direction. And unfortunately, philosophy is not a science. It's a way of thinking. It's like asking, is there a God? We can't answer this question scientifically. The same applies to religion and metaphysics. These are philosophical questions. So that might not be a very promising direction to go for a psychology class, and maybe a totally perfect direction to go in a philosophy class or ethics or whatever you might be taking if you're thinking about nursing program or physical therapy. I think they have to do this. Is it 1:30? That's the class. Does anybody have another idea how we could look at education, an educational topic? Low income neighborhoods and schools. Okay. All right. What about, think about you. Tell me who you are so I can.
Jennifer.
Hi, Jennifer. Let's see where you are.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say I was looking at the stigma of mental health illness in regards in schools or in prison systems or in society in general, and how that so in education wise, mental health stigma, how that could affect you, that could have an effect on your education and on learning, because a lot of people, psychology is still a new topic, and a lot of people are still seeing it. There's still a big stigma towards it, and then that could affect kids, that can make them depressed, give them anxiety. People with mental health disorders are constantly being bullied still.
Okay, so you just had a nice, interesting fact. You said something about bullying. Well, bullying, right, is a psychological phenomenon.
Yeah.
Now, do we have, so let's say you were interested in looking at bullying in schools. You would try to look for mass media, popular press, video program that presents bullying, research on bullying based on a particular research article. And then the best, if you can do that, this is the most interesting part, is if you could find such a claim in mass media that is misrepresentation of the claim in scientific research.
That's good.
Now, that's not always possible.
That's interesting. So hopefully I'll find something.
Yes, I hope so too. I mean, it's the idea is that I would not want to put the ideas into your heads, because then that's defeats the whole purpose of the class. We all are exposed to what is known as fake news, right? how do we know that this particular piece of news is fake? Well, we listen to the story and then we try to uncover the actual facts. Now remember, one of the ways of doing that is to go to websites that have edu at the end. We know, or gov, government and education. These are the sites that are more reliable than anything else. So Tara says, does parental over aspiration undermine their child's learning? Okay, good. So good. You guys are having some ideas. Perfect. Okay, so that's how you would approach the first approach of your assignment number 1. So I strongly encourage you, we'll try to do that if we can, get in groups today, that you should bounce these ideas against each other, find something, and remember, you need a pair. You need a popular press or a video program or whatever, and then you need a research article. And you have to, as a group, assess which, because you'll have 3, right? Each of you will have to do that. You will decide which of the 3 topics is something that everybody would be interested in doing and that they're doable. I mean, you can obviously send me the original article or a link to it, and I can look it up and I can tell you whether you will be able to manage or whether it's going to be over your heads. All right, now it's 5:36, so let's take a break until 5:43. All right, if somebody has a I asked somebody to talk to me. 5:43. Otherwise, you guys can have a technology break until 5:43. And I'm here if somebody wants to talk to me.
Hi, Professor.
Hi, Joanna.
Did you get my email? I sent it from my school email, then I tried again with mine.
Okay, give me a second. Let me check. Thank you for reminding me, of course. All right. Let me see what I have. Okay, I have Irving. No, Joanna, I don't have any. Okay, Joanna.
I sent it twice again, so now it's 4
All right.
times.
Okay. In private chat to you, I'm sending you my other email.
Okay.
Why don't, let's see if it has to do with the CSI. Okay, so give me a second.
It can be the CSI because I just got your email.
Oh God. Sorry guys. So Jana, do you see my email?
Yes.
Okay, so send me your certificate again to this address between now and the end of the class. So we have another 40 minutes. Let's hope I'll get it.
Okay, I'm trying right now.
You know, it's a nightmare. I can tell you that when I'm in Europe, I can never access CSI. So usually my husband checks, if he's home, checks my email and then forwards it to my private email account. That's a drag.
All right, I just sent it to your private right now.
Okay, let me check and see if I got it. Wouldn't that be nice, right?
Yes.
Yes, Joanna, you are probably jinxed by CIX. All right, so let's keep it for your just don't sell it on Facebook. So next time you need to send me something, right? Send it to this email address. So there's
Okay.
something about your setup that's not, that doesn't jive well with the CSI
Okay,
server.
thank you so much.
You're welcome. Anybody else who sent me something? I see Irving. All right. And that's it. If you guys, somebody has sent me anything, I haven't received it. Just let me know. I can tell you how to get that. Meanwhile, for those who did not get my email, here is the first file for you in the chat that you should. Meanwhile, what I will start doing, as you still may be on the break, I will start assigning you to breakout rooms. So you're going to open this file, and then you guys will work.
Professor, I have a question.
Go ahead.
So, for Psych 100, we did something on the Sona system for research. Do we have to do something like that for this class or any other Psych class too? Or that one counts for all the Psych classes?
Oh, the SONA system is only for Psych 100 students. So you
we don't have to do anything like
nope,
that for any other class?
No, you don't have to. So once you are done with Psych 100, you've accumulated your 3 research credits. Is it 3? I think it is 3.
It
Right?
was 4.
Oh, 4. Okay, 4. Then you're done. There's nothing that you need to do. It's the way to introduce students. Now think about it, Rita. There is plenty of students who are taking Psych 100 who are not psychology majors. They'll never ever take another psych class. So that's the only way for us to get them to, learn a little bit about how psychology research is conducted. Now you guys are different because most of you are, if not all, are psych majors. So you don't need to be doing extra stuff beyond Psych 100.
Wait, Professor, I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead. Tell me who you are so I can.
Jeremiah.
Hi, Jeremiah. Sorry, because I can't see you. I can only see the squares. Go ahead.
So, hold on. It says, can you see me now?
Not yet. Oh, now I can see you now. Hi, Jeremiah. Hey, nice to see your face.
My psychology credit is transferred from a different university.
So
do I have to make up that research credit?
No.
I did research projects in a different school.
No. This is only a requirement for people who are taking Psych 100 with us. If you have taken Psych 100 or 101, whatever, somewhere else, and the credits transferred, you're done. You don't need to worry.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. So let's go to that file. I'm going to open it in a second. All right. Close. Cancel. Right. So let me share the screen before I send you all to the breakout rooms. Okay. Show all windows. Oh, that's not it. Why is it? It's not working today. Okay. Save. A second. Here we go. All right. So this is the file that I posted in the chat and I sent to you just before the class started. I may have to do it again for the future because sharing doesn't work when you're breakout rooms. So what I would like you to do with your group, and I'll do it now, is to try to, let's do the following. I mean, we have 10 groups, right? Or so, maybe 11. Those who are not in the group yet, I'll just send you to a different, like group number 11. So groups 1, 2, 3, that is Seaver, Jasmine, Rita, Jennifer, Jackie, Tara, Jeremiah, Sadiru, Stephanie, will have to do number 1. Practice makes perfect. And I'll explain in a second what you need to do. The next 2 groups, Irving, Devin Joy, Joanna, Eileen, Romaine, Vanessa, Lisbeth, Alma, Shalani, will be doing number 2. Small children give you headaches, big children give you heartaches. And the remaining 3 groups, Kim, Jenny, Monica, Didi, Victoria, Callista, Thomas, Terrence, Luz, Tyrell, Chidima, I'm sorry. We don't have another person. And whoever is left will be in group number 11. You guys will be doing number 3. The grass is always greener on the other side. This is what I want you to do. Now, what you see is actually a statement. I want you to change it into a question, make it a research question that you could then, imagine you have to go and do a study. Then you need to try to convert the research question into a hypothesis. What is it that you will be testing? And then the predictions, what your predictions are regarding the, I know it's a little ahead of time, but that's how you will be doing your assignment 1 and assignment 2.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
So number 1, number 2, number 3, every sentence that is there, we have to turn it into a question, a hypothesis, and prediction.
Right, but you only are doing one of them, depending on the group you're in.
Okay, so we just make that a question, and then from there.
Yes, and then you try to create a hypothesis. Now remember, hypothesis connects to variables, and then predict what it will look like.
Okay, thank you.
So now let me unshare and start putting you in the groups, in the breakout rooms, okay? And let's say, I don't know, 10, maybe 15 minutes. Manually, okay, create rooms. Room number 1 is gonna be Seaver, Jasmine, and Rita. You can start thinking while I'm assigning you to the rooms. Seaver. It's not listing you alphabetically. That's bad. Jasmine. Ugh. Jasmine and Rita. Okay. All right, you guys are in room 1. Room number 2 gets Jennifer, Jackie, where are you, Jackie? Here is Jackie, and Tara. Tara, okay. Room number 2, now room number 3 gets Jeremiah, Sadiru, and Stephanie. All right. Breakout group number 4 gets Irving, Devin Joy, and Joanna. All right. Breakout room number 5 gets Eileen, Romaine. Is Romaine with us? I don't know. I don't see him. So it's going to be just the 2 of you and Vanessa for now. We can add somebody to you. Who doesn't have a group yet? Milanchka. Okay, I'll put you with these guys for now. Oops. Group number 6 is Lisbeth, Alma, and Cholani. Group number 7 is Kim, Jenny, And Monica? Group number 8 is Didi, Victoria, and Callista. Number 9, okay, is Thomas, Terrence, and Lewis. Okay. Number 10 is Tyrell, Chijima, and let's see, Edgar. And group number 11 will have 2 people, Irina and Scarlett. Okay. Tyrell. Tyrell goes to 10. Tyrell, go to breakout room 10.
Yeah, Professor. I couldn't find the material on Blackboard, and I didn't get it by email.
It's in the chat. Look in the chat. There is a file.
Oh, I don't see it in the chat. Is it in group 10 chat?
No, it's in the regular chat. So scroll up a little bit. Let's see.
Oh, it showed me a blank chat. Maybe because I left.
Oh, I see. Okay. So, okay, if you go to room 10, you will have your Chidima and Edgar are there. So they will give you the file, all right?
Hello, Professor.
Uh-huh. Yep. Hi, Jeremiah.
We're back.
We're back. All right. Let's share. Let's have a very quick discussion. Yeah. Time is money.
I just had a very quick question that
Yeah.
we have amongst the
Yeah.
group.
Go ahead.
For the prediction part of it, was it, based off an example, like a real life example of our hypothesis?
No, it's going to be based on your hypothesis. So let's let's discuss. Can you see the okay, good. So here is our first. I know you guys have done it, but let's, for the sake of saving time for now, because we still have one more thing to do, let me tell you how I would see that. Maybe somebody could do it quickly for number 2. So the statement is obviously a proverb, a saying, practice makes perfect. So research question obviously has to be a question. So perhaps the easiest way to make it into a question would be to say, does practice make perfect? Now, it's okay, but it's not very concrete, right? Because it doesn't tell us what practice, how much. It doesn't tell us much, right? So we would take the saying and we would change it into something a bit more concrete. So let's think about what would be a good example.
Professor, can we give an example that we did in a group?
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, go ahead.
So the group of Stephanie and Sadiru, we wrote does repeated trial and error improve your chances of achieving perfection? Would that work?
Okay, see, it is good, but it's still not concrete enough, because you're not saying under which conditions. I mean, what are you going to perfect?
Jackie, do you want to give them our?
Okay.
Go ahead. Who can do?
That was Jennifer speaking.
Hi, Jennifer. Go ahead.
Jackie wrote down our.
Hi. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
So we were having like a little bit of trouble trying to get our words together, but for our we have practice makes. You want me to read it, right? You want me
Yes. Just tell us the research question.
So we have practice makes perfect. Our research question was, does the repetitive systematic learning techniques used in East Asia contribute to their high academic success rate?
Okay, that's not bad, but it's still not concrete enough. So let's make it more concrete. So let's say instead of academic success, let's say math, right?
Okay, so you want to, okay.
Yes. So now we can try to say, and now we want to say that this practice takes certain amount of time. So can you, Jackie, try to change it so you have math and you have a certain amount of hours in your research question?
Just give me 2 seconds.
Try just to say it. You don't have to write it.
Does the repetitive systematic learning techniques used in East Asia contribute to their high academic success rate in math? Can I say like in 1 year?
Make it shorter. No. Think about it. Let's say you would say something like, does the number of hours per week contribute? Even we can forget about Asian participants for a second.
We're trying to just like look it up and like figure out.
So we will say something like, does the amount of hours studying a week predict success in math, or predict SAT scores in math, or whatever we would want to do, right?
Okay.
So it's now very concrete. So now we can have a hypothesis, which will be the more you study for math, right?
The higher your scores.
The higher your score will be on SAT or whatever.
Okay.
And now we want to have a prediction. We will say people who study, or students who study more than, let's say, 5 hours a week, will have a score above 80.
Okay.
People who study less than 5 hours a week will have a score under 80.
Okay. I understand that. Okay.
If the score is 100, right? See, everybody, this is how we, a lot of the attempts that we try in the beginning are too abstract, and we need to really make it more concrete. All right, who can try to do number 2? It's a little trickier than number 1.
I can try.
Go ahead.
Okay. What we came up with was the research question was, how does the age of a child affect the type of stress that they give you?
Okay, right. Except you might want to say they give you, in this case, children are obviously somebody else's
They
children.
give a parent.
Right.
Okay.
So, good.
Okay.
So
And
does the age of child give stress to the parent or the parents, right? Good.
Yeah, it's more like how the age of a child, because it says small children give you a headache, so it's more like the kind of stress that they give you, I guess.
Oh, that's both. You see, we have small and big children, and we have headache and heartache. Okay,
Right.
good, good. Okay, Devin Joy, now we'll try to put it into hypothesis.
We said the older a child is, the more that they can affect you emotionally.
Or make your life more
more
stressful. Okay,
Right.
good. So now let's make a couple of predictions.
So we had some trouble like differentiating between hypothesis and predictions. So we decided predictions were more like what we can observe in the actions.
Mm-hmm.
So we predicted that the older a child gets, the higher their communication skills are, and the more personal like their statements become.
Okay.
And
that is a little bit beyond. Prediction is a very concrete thing, like I said, in terms of the hours of math. So you would say young children will create less stress for parents.
Okay.
And the quality of stress will be, I don't know, not as dramatic. Older children will create more stress, and the stress will be more, will be deeper or something like that.
Can we put assistant professor for that?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm just asking. So we were part of the group. So for number, for example, for the prediction, can we say why? So bigger children will give you heartache due to the fact that they know right from wrong. Can that be a part of it, or is that too?
You could, but it's kind of an extra step. You don't really need it for the predictions in terms of your hypothesis at this point. When you get to the results, and then you need, if you confirm the hypothesis, right? If you find that both of your predictions are correct, then you'll need an explanation. But this explanation does not have to be a part of your predictions.
So it's better to just have it short and sweet and to the point.
That's right. Short and sweet and to the point. You just nailed it, Milana. Perfect.
Okay, then I'm sorry. I just
go ahead, enjoy.
The hypothesis is that the older a kid is, the more stress they give you, and the more emotional the stress can be. So I would just. So then, what would my prediction be?
Because the prediction will consist of two parts, because you have two parts in the original statement. So you will say less stress and milder stress for younger children, let's say under the age of, I don't know, 8.
Okay.
More stress and more dramatic stress for children above the age of 8 or something like that.
Okay. So I don't have to predict anything about like specifics like their communication skills or their risk. That's too much.
Well, it's too much, but you're right in a sense, because these two statements actually specify that, headache is not so big as heartache, right?
Right.
So in fact, that's why I'm saying that number 2 is more difficult than number 1, because you actually have more variables here than in number 1. So you're right, Devin Joy. It's the problem is, how do you partition it into all these little details?
Okay.
All right, we're not going to do number 3 because we're running out of time. Let's just talk about the APA style. We'll start. So I sent you a file that looks like a title page. Let me see if I can get it. There we go. If you haven't received it, don't worry about it. I will post everything. So this is our title page that comes from the APA 7 publication manual. This is the title page that applies to you guys. You are students. In the old APA 6, those of you who took 201 before, not 201, but who heard about APA style, maybe in Psych 100, probably were introduced to APA 6. Now, this is APA 7. The good thing, I already mentioned that, I think, that APA 7 sort of distinguishes the student papers from the professional papers. So for the student paper, it's much simpler now. I don't know who that person is. Anyway, so let's look. This is how your title page will have to look like when you write your assignment number 1 and assignment number 2. So as you can see at the top, let me see if I can get my color, right, is the page number. Now, this page number has to be on every single page, including the title page. Now, remember your report is about 1,200 words, which is, I don't know, 5 pages or so. So you'll have the numbers on every single of these 5 pages. And I can, if you guys don't know how to do that, I can show you next time how to insert the pages into the header. You cannot type it on the page. It has to be inserted into the header, because otherwise you have to always change the numbers by hand. What comes next here is the title of your paper or your student paper. Now, this obviously will be whatever your topic is going to be. But what's important is that you have to have both variables in the title. So here, there is one variable that's called compassion fatigue, because it's about nurses. The other one is about resilience training. So think about the hypothesis and predictions here. Okay, so we have a hypothesis that resilience training will reduce compassion fatigue in nurses. And here's this critical verb, reduce. So this is actually a claim. Remember chapter 3 that we are coming to. It's all about claims in psychology. So this is what we would call, again, a causal claim, because we say that resilience training reduces compassion fatigue. So you'll have to come up with a title, and note that in this case, we do have the capital upper case letters for all the non-functional words. Then, as you can see, there is a space, and then comes the name. Now, in your case, it will be 3 names, all right? And these names have to be presented in this format. This is a very special format. This is the title format. There's also a reference page format that we will address next time. So the title format is your first name, followed by the initial, followed by the last name, because you will have 3. Next will be a comma, the second name, comma, and the third name. And the order will be the alphabetical order of the last name. So let's see, if we have group number 8, which is Didi, Victoria, and Callista. Callista is going to be the first author, right? Because Callista's last name is, oh no, I'm sorry, Didi, you're going to be the first one. Masondo, then Mattarella, Callista, and the last one is going to be Victoria, who is, no, you're going to be the first one. See, I'm not looking at my numbers. So it has to be in alphabetical order. What comes next is our department and our college. So you will say Department of Psychology, comma, College of Staten Island of the City University of New York. That's the full name of our institution. Then comes our course, which is a 201, Foundations of Research Methods. My name as your instructor, and the date. The date will have to be October 1st, 2020. Okay, I'll post all of that, and we'll continue working on the APA style and assignment 1. For your next week, you have to do, what do you have to do? Let's quickly look. And then that will be the end of the class. You have to read chapter 2, and you have to do your first quiz on chapter 2, which is due Monday the 14th by 10 p.m. And I'm asking you to post your first thoughts about assignment number 1 on the discussion board. Okay, if there are no questions that need to be addressed immediately, the class is over, and I'm asking to stay those 2 people who needed my help with CD training. And if you are one of the people whose CD training certificate I don't have, it has to be in my email today.
That's another question.
Okay, let's do one at a time.
Sorry.
Okay,
Go ahead.
who's the
Thank
first
you,
one?
Professor.
You're welcome. See you guys next week. Jeremiah, you're the first one?
If no one else is gonna ask, it was just a question that my group was having about assignment 1. We just wanted to ask you for an opinion.
Okay, so you already have an idea, right?
Yes.
So what is it?
So we have so far we have 2 ideas. It's the effect of music therapy on mental disorders, or the psychosocial and protective risk factors of mental disorders, or on another subject. Like if one of those finds.
Okay. Well, Jeremiah, the only way to know whether this is fine is to find the 2 pieces. To find the popular press article and to find the article, the research article that it's based on. If you can't find any of that, then those topics are not going to work. But if you can find something, yes, they have
I
to
found topics. We just wanted to know, like, from your point of view, like which one would be like a better path to take.
I would suggest that you do the Google search first. Let's find, do you have a mass media article that discusses this?
Yeah, it's in one of my older document folders.
Okay. Do you have a research article that goes with it?
Yes, I have the whole academic journal for it.
Okay. So what journal is it coming from?
Hold on, it's in my phone.
Okay, that's not a problem.
It's from the American Journal of Public Health by William J. Hall.
How long is it?
It's substantial.
Okay, that might be an issue. So you could potentially, if there is more than one study there, you could potentially focus only on one of them. That's okay. I don't know.
I read it all already, and I already isolated certain protective and risk factors on psychosocial elements already.
Okay. Do you see that the journalist misrepresented the research in any way?
No, not from what I see.
No, then it may be not the most interesting story. It would be really nice if you could find something where you would see that journalist is not doing the right thing. The journalist is misinterpreting the research article.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Take care. Who needs to talk to me?
Just to reiterate, just to make sure that all the work gets done in regard to the groups that we just had for the little assignments that we did.
Right. Okay. Milana, you were not assigned to a group, so you were in the group 5, but there is a person in group 5, so technically you should be with group 11. Now,
11.
Right. So the group 11 has Irina and Skylet, and you would be number 3 in there.
Okay.
But what I don't know, and okay, you know how to reach these people, right? You have the email.
We have the chat for the class, yeah.
Okay, good. You may want to reach out to Eileen and Vanessa. If you guys are happy to be together, then I'll reassign Romaine into group 11. But you need to tell me.
I'm good with that. Like I'll be good with her joining.
Here?
Yeah.
Yeah, we were just talking about it. Yeah, okay, that works.
Okay, so let me just double check. So Eileen, Vanessa, your 3rd member will be Milana. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
It's fine. Eileen, Vanessa, it's fine with you?
Yeah, can you just send me your phone number privately?
You guys exchange. All right, so group number 5 is now Eileen, Vanessa and Milana, and Romain will go to group 11. That's not a problem for me. Okay, perfect. All right, if you guys are done, you can.
Professor.
Uh-huh.
Hi, Professor.
Who are you?
Monica.
Hi, Monica. Okay.
Hi. Yeah, I have a question. So the quiz is gonna be open from this week until the next class, or from next class until the following class?
No, it's open until Monday the 14th.
So from now until Monday 14th?
That's right. You have to read chapter 2 on your own and take the quiz.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else who needs to chat with me?
Professor.
Okay, tell me who you are so I can find you.
Norma.
Norma. Okay, you joined us very, very late.
I know, I got stuck at work. Sorry.
Okay, Norma. The problem is you are not in the group, right?
No, I'm not.
What do we do? All right, Norma, you should talk to, I'm gonna type it in for you in the chat. And you should, of course.
I'm actually on my phone, so I
You're
can't
on
really
your
see
phone.
the chat.
Okay, so this is what I need you to do. I need you to email me.
Okay.
And I also don't have your city certificate. So when am I going to get it from you?
Yes, as soon as I get home, I'm gonna email, put it on the Google Doc.
All right, so email me and I'll tell you which group you will go to and how to get in touch with them using the email. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, who needs to talk to me next?
Jackie. Can you hear me? Jackie.
Jackie, okay, well, 1 second.
No,
Yes.
okay. I emailed you my city certificate. I just wanted to make sure you got it because I knew you were having trouble with this new one.
You sent it to my, yes, Jackie.
Okay.
Yes.
Right,
Yes. You're good. Yes, you're good. Perfect. You can go. All right. Bye. Take care, Seaver. Thank you for being such a sport.
Professor, can I ask you a quick question?
Go ahead, Jenny. Yes.
Just for clarification, for the press that we had to bring to class on September 16th.
You don't need to bring it. You need to post it.
Yes. Okay. So would that be like a topic that we're interested in individually, or just the topic that we agreed to do for assignment
No,
one?
it's going to be individual ones. So your group, let's see who is in your group.
I have Monica and Kimberly.
Good. So Kim and Monica and you each should have a topic and each should try to do a little bit of research. That is, should find if there is something written about that topic by a journalist, and if there is an original research article. So then you in the group will decide which of the 3 topics you will choose, because one of them will be better than others.
But if we already agreed on a topic, can we all just individually bring in different articles about that same topic?
Oh, you have already agreed on what you're going to be doing. So, okay, good. Then what we'll have to do next time, right, is for you to post on your actually discussion, right? You'll have to post the links and the titles of both. So what I will do, I'll look at them and I will tell you, at least I will suggest whether this is what you should do.
Okay.
So if you have already something that you agreed, and if it's good, that's fine. Then you can stop searching. But if it happens to be something that's going to be difficult, or take care, Jeremiah, something that is not psychologically related, then I will have to ask you to do something else. That's why it's useful for the other 2 of your group members to find some alternatives.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so Chijima and Devanjoy, let's Chijima, let me make you a co-host, which will allow you to share the screen with me. Where are we, participants? Okay. Devanjoy, you will just
You mean
look.
share my screen?
Yes, but give me a second because I need to make you a co-host before you can do that.
Okay.
Yes. So what I need you to do, Chidima, is to go to the CT training site and share the screen with us so that I and Devon Joy could see what you're doing.
Okay.